Today I'm gonna be adding extended brake lines to this truck behind me. It's gonna be, of course, y'all already know, y'all should know by now, it's gonna be the disaster relief vehicle. I specifically ordered them from PMF to be blue. You can't really tell right now, maybe in the sun, I'll show y'all later on, but they're blue. It's the extended brake lines is for the back, the rear wheels, and the front two. I'll be doing that, and I'll be bleeding the brake lines because I know I'm gonna accumulate some air throughout the brake lines, so I'll be doing that too, and I'll have a video of the whole thing, the whole process of putting these on and then bleeding the brake lines by myself, because there is a way to do it by yourself. You just kind of have to think outside the box a little bit. Nothing more than just some of these short clear hoses that'll fit over the zerks, the brake fluid zerks, and of course some extra brake fluid. I don't need this much, but it's some that I have left over from previous projects. Alright, we'll get to it. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna loosen this wire. There's these wires that are attached to right here. This the back wheel sensor, ABS. This nut right here is gonna be a 9/16. It may vary in sizes. This one here, sorry, may vary in size depending on the truck that you have, but I have a F350, so this is gonna be a Sterling 1025. On the side, these are gonna be an 11mm right here. These, you're gonna want to loosen these up before you take this off all the way, so it'll be a little bit easier for you. You're gonna want to loosen everything up first before you start taking everything apart, or unless you're gonna want to wrestle with it a little bit, but we're gonna take them loose right now. Okay, here goes a brake line after it's been put on. I have no idea why they put these little rubber pieces on it, but I just went ahead and slipped it back on, tightened this up. You kind of don't want to take your time doing this. You want to have everything ready, get to go, take everything apart, put everything back together, and in a decent, timely manner, because what's going to be happening is your brake fluid is going to be dripping out of your brake lines, and you don't want to run your master cylinder, or your brake fluid reservoir. You do not want to run that dry. It'll be a little bit harder to bleed these brakes, but what we've done is this whole line right here, this whole line that we just put on is full of air. So right now we have a boatload of air going to these back two brakes, and we'll take care of that after we finish putting on the front lines. Right here, you're gonna have to snake this a little bit upwards. The metal brake line is right here. It goes in through this hole. I'm poking my fingers through, and you're gonna connect it right here, because this whole part, it goes in there, and they have these clips that it clips on and keeps it from hanging out like that. And there's 3 clips, 2 for the front, 1 for the back, and we're gonna take care of that right now. And this is how it's supposed to look whenever you complete it. You see how that clip just goes in there and holds that piece in place? That's how it is. Just finish up the rear brake line extension for this disaster relief, aka Rhino, and it's nothing rocket science about putting on these extended brake lines for the rear or the front, but there are some things that you might need to keep an eye on or test fit before you even put them on. And right now we're about to start on the front driver's side extended brake line, and we'll see where that goes from there. So I'm about to do the driver's side. These brake lines they're for specific sections. This is the driver's side, and you got to understand, right here it has an inlet going on in right here and a outlet going out right here. You have to be careful because you got to know which one you're getting. Now these two brake lines that I'm about to add to the front, this one right here, the more fatter one, it has a line, so you actually have an inlet and an outlet on this one, and you can see this one right here only has an inlet, so it only has one hole for the brake fluid to go in. So these are for specific sides. So we're about to do the front driver's side right now. So I pulled this front brake line off already. See those two dirty, those are called crush washers. Basically help seal up the line whenever on both sides of that. Well, here it is. Remember, save this screw, save this bolt. I mean, you're gonna have to reuse the bolt. They don't supply you with a replacement. You can barely see the brass crush washers, and everything went good. I connected the rear. This line is actually going to the reservoir. This line is going to the passenger side. Now I ran into a problem. That's why I said you might need a test fit it. Well, you see, this is supposed to be going in here, but the only problem is there's a flat spot. I don't know, I believe you can see it, but there's a slight flat spot in there that's not letting me fit it all the way in. Nothing that a drill and a good drill bit to take care of, but I would have connected the lines. That's why I said that y'all might need to test fit some parts first before y'all start disconnecting everything, especially as far as the lines go, so you don't run out of fluid up top. And well, right now that's the problem that I ran into. Well, I'm about to drill this out just slightly. I'm gonna have to disconnect these lines and connect them out here so my lines won't bleed out, and then come back in with the drill and drill that hole a little bit bigger, at least big enough so I could put these. And there's gonna be another holding clip that's gonna go in here. You see this groove right here, this groove, that as soon as this goes through this hole on top, that holder clip's supposed to go on there to keep everything in place. So we're about to drill this this thing out right now, this tab. So here's brake line already connected already where I needed it to be, and where I drilled the hole a little bit bigger so the brake line could go through it, and I could put this keeper pin, this keeper clip, whatever you want to call it, the holder clip, or whatever, in. So it's good on this. The only thing that I'm having a problem with is on the other side of the truck. I was also having the same issue with it being a little bit too small, so I got the drill and I would have drilled it out and I'll pre-fit it before I started putting everything on. I would have pre-fitted again. I already pre-fitted it, and the clip does slide on there perfectly. So the only thing I need to do is disconnect the old line. Disconnect this old line right now, and then connect the newer line, the new line right there. And that's what we're about to do. All right, this is the next morning. I went ahead and finished connecting the lines on the passenger side, the extended brake lines. I was having to do a few issues yesterday that I had to take care of besides the truck, so I had to hurry up and do this. My son did help me bleed the brake lines, and I'll show you the tool that I made to bleed the brake lines. But even before we started doing these extended brake lines, I was having a problem with braking already. I would go up to the stop sign, I would brake, the brakes would be good the first time I hit them. Second time they would be a little bit firmer, but the third time they were non-existent. So we're gonna go ahead and just chase that down. So we'll have some good braking on this truck because it's a F350 and it's big and it's heavy and I need brakes. So we're just gonna go ahead. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the master. No, not the master. I pulled the master cylinder off already, and I'm already starting on the booster. So, but before that, I'll show you the tool that I made for bleeding brake lines. Okay, here's the tool that I made to bleed the brake system. This isn't the specific one that I used. I already finished bleeding the brake system, but I'm still gonna explain to you how I did it. It's just a regular clear plastic bottle. You're gonna drill a 3/4 inch hole in here, and this is a 3/4 inch tube, and I know 3/4 inch can't fit in 3/4 inch, but you're gonna have to squeeze this in so it doesn't pull out of there. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna fill this bottle up about 1/4 of the way with brake fluid. I'll explain why in a second. And you're gonna put a little breather hole right there. And what you're gonna do on the other end of the tube, this is actually gonna go over your little bleeder nipple, sorry, for the brakes. But before you put this on, you want to go ahead and put a 10mm wrench to it and loosen it up enough, and then tighten it finger tight to close the little valve. Then you're gonna put this over it, and you're gonna open it up by finger. You're gonna open it up a little bit, and after you open it up, you're gonna want to put the bottle on the ground and kind of let gravity do its thing. You're gonna want to put some stuff around the bottle so the bottle doesn't flop over whenever you're trying to, when you're in the cab, pressing on the brakes. And what it's gonna do is you're gonna press on the brakes. It's gonna send the fluid through the line, but it's gonna you're gonna see air bubbles coming up. So every time you let go of the brake, instead of it sucking air up, because you have the bottle filled all the way at the bottom with 1/4 brake fluid, it's gonna suck up the brake fluid instead of sucking up air. So you're gonna keep doing that until you see the whole line that's clear all the way, and then you're gonna, after you see the whole line filled with brake fluid, you're gonna keep pumping. After you see the whole line filled with brake fluid, then you're gonna finger tighten the little nipple, and then, well, if you have the 10mm still on there, which I did, I just tightened it up. And but like I said, I had my son help me with that to kind of quicken the pace up a little bit, because there was some other stuff that needed to be taken care of. And that's how I bled the brake system. Now, the other issue that I was having, before I put these extended brake lines on, I was having a problem with the brakes already. I'd go up to a stop sign, I would brake, it would brake perfect, and then as soon as I try to apply it a second time, like if I was in traffic, the first time I hit the brakes it'd be good, the second time I hit the brakes it'd be a little bit firmer, by the third time I hit the brakes, it almost be non-existent, but I would have to basically stand on the brakes in order for this thing to stop. And that's a no-no. This truck, it's a heavy truck, it's a F350, 4-door, long bed. It's lifted 5 inches just for now, 6 inches to come, and I'll have a video on that. Well, 6 more inches, did you say that? And you know, I just, man, it can't do this. It's a big, heavy truck, and right now I'm taking apart the master cylinder because I'm putting the brake booster. I know there's different ways to test the brake booster. It's supposed to have at least hold, I think, 20 psi throughout the time, and it's supposed to hold anywhere between 20 and 26 psi. And there's a way to check it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and replace it. I might look at it and see, you know, if there's any corrosion or damage on it somewhere, but we're gonna go from there. And this sucks because they just want money taken away from doing the lift and everything else that I want to do. I mean, I still got it. Y'all already know, if y'all seen my past videos, I need to rebuild the turbo. I mean, the turbo, even though the turbo wheel, even though the turbo wheel is a little chewed up, it's still drivable. I mean, I still drive it, but I do need to do something with that. Alright, so that was just a video of me installing the extended brake lines on this truck and bleeding the brake system. And I guess my next video is just gonna be, I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. My next video is gonna be about probably testing the brake booster and taking it apart and replacing it. But that's what I'm about to do right now. I'll just save this for another video. Peace out.